Hey y'all, it's Mocha Mima. Welcome to my channel. Let me play my intro and then we are going to get into my review of Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, Episode 5.
Work, work, work. To me, I can work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. In the girl, them her, that, 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 that. Try me, I deserve it. Nothing to be lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you not like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody text me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'm a sleep, a decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work, 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 work. To me, I be work, work, work.
Hey y'all, it's Mocha Mima. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, an extra special welcome. If you are someone that's been back before, y'all make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell button for the uploads, and thank you so much for coming back. Y'all, this is Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 1, Episode 5. The title is Russell Stones Will Break My Bones. And let me tell you, Russell and Colby is getting on my nerves, along with Anthony and Latoya, who are calling people fake when they are fake as fuck. Okay? They are getting, listen, I want to break their freaking bones. Let me tell you, they're getting on my damn nerves. They are fake. The two of them, they're flip floppers. They are two faced. And I'm talking about Anthony and Latoya, two faced. Instead of them riding the fence like couples should do, who there's three couples like this, they should be right in the middle, but they don't. They are so fake. They are so corny, talking about they don't like drama when Anthony is always in the midst of something, starting something. He's an instigator and everything. Let me get into this. Y'all, first of all, let me read my disclaimer. The thoughts, views, and topics expressed in this video are those of me, Mocha Mima, and are for entertainment purposes only. All commentary is alleged. So y'all, oh, before I do that, let me show you this. So Russell's gym is up. I guess it's up and running. It is in Pontiac, Michigan. It is a Anytime Fitness, what do you call it? What do you call those? Chain, I forget what the name of them are because they done got on my nerves so bad. So that is Russell. And before I did this slide for y'all. This is what Anthony is. Anthony is a snake. He is a snake. He has this men's movement. He has this, oh, men need to be accountable. Sir, you are a snake. That is what you are. I didn't have time to put up something about his wife. I just thought about it. I should have put up about his wife, what she is, but I will save that for next week because there will probably be stuff next week about his wife. So let me get into this. So we're back. We're still at the roller rink. Latoya's saying to Christina that, she's going back and forth with them and saying to Christina who put the question basically in Brandon's head about calling Colby Colby cat, which means copycat. Brandon can have his own. Now, listen, I'm not saying Brandon is without fault and stuff himself, because that whole thing was a whole bunch of manipulation. That whole scene, that whole thing that went down, and I went back and watched that whole scene with everything. Colby is a manipulator and a gaslighter herself. Christina, the whole thing was sometimes, like, people with this text messaging, you need to get on the phone, especially when it comes to this with brand deals, when it comes to money. Get off the text messaging and get on the phone and talk to someone. First of all, when Colby called the people like Harper Ray let her know that Christina already had a deal with them. They were suggesting to her, since you guys are friends, maybe you can go in it together. But Colby turned it into something else. She really did. And from episode 1, I didn't like Colby. And that's what it is. Now Latoya's calling Christina fake. Latoya, you are fake. You are fake. You are corny as hell. So and she says that Brandon is inserting himself. Brandon in saying like he was protecting his wife, and I'm going to be skipping around a little bit. In him saying protecting his wife, like even when he had said that, Christina was kind of giving him a look, but then it's like Russell was taking stuff too far. Russell, aka I call him, what's his name, Patrick from SpongeBob. Russell was trying to act like he was protecting his wife. First of all, your wife was being hyperbolic. Your wife was going too far. There was no reason for her to walk out and do all that. She was acting like a spoiled child. And then later in the episode, she's saying, oh, well, Christina is 40 and like she's 30. Like Christina's too old for it. Know what, Colby, you're too old for it. Like it's a bunch of BS to me. And Russell, and Christina also, she did a live, and I watched part of her live, but her live was too long. And then Christina talking about things, and I had said this to myself, and I have it here in her notes. And they're going on, and later on in the episode, like they're talking about when things happen, and that Christina and Brandon are always getting into it with stuff. Christina and Brandon, they get into it like people will start stuff and then they'll like end it. For instance, Christina and Brandon were at their anniversary celebration. Colby brought up about the girl that Brandon was had in his studio, getting her ready, was prepping her or whatever it's called, getting her ready to be a star, whatever it's called. Colby brought that up, and then she stood 10 tones down on it. And Russell did not get on there and really shut his wife up like he should have. He let his wife go ahead and talk and did not check his wife. Okay, that was number one thing. The number two thing which they brought up on the episode was the wine at the wine party. At the wine party, Anthony is the one that's saying, Christina, you shouldn't do this, and Christina, you shouldn't do that, talking about Chelsea, which I don't like Chelsea, but Anthony was the one that went at Chelsea and was saying stuff. When Chelsea said to him, why are you so worried about it? Anthony is the one that got loud and was saying stuff. And Latoya, instead of Latoya checking her husband, she didn't check her husband. She let her husband and go ahead and say something. And then that caused Christina and Brandon to go back and forth. Like all that stuff, see, someone else started and they finished it. And then number three, this thing at the skating rink. That was not the right place for it to be brought up. Colby brought it up. And then what happened? They were going back and forth. Colby was the one that got loud, made a scene, and walked out. So then after that, Latoya goes out. She's on Colby's side. I don't know if her and Colby are sorority sisters or if her and Christina are sorority sisters. I don't know what the dynamic is, if really she doesn't like Christina or what the case is. But Anthony and Latoya are full of poop. And I don't mean the word poop. Like this is such BS. They're the fake ones. And so that was it with that whole thing with them going back and forth with that. So Christina talked to her friend Chelsea. They meet up at her storage thing to look for fabric because she's going to make a custom dress for Chelsea. So in this whole thing saying they're like your little sister. People, stop saying that. That person is not your little sister, especially when it comes to business. They're not your little sister. Christina was thrown out by by Colby's attitude. I wasn't thrown out by it. Colby is a spoiled little brat. You could tell even by the way she talked to her husband when they do their scenes. She's spoiled. She's used to getting her way, and she's full of it. So then after that, the men meet up at this BS Man's Movement meeting, which we knew it was all BS when Anthony started it, because Anthony doesn't like to take accountability himself. So it makes me look at him even more different, the snake that he is. Brandon felt out of place because it was like they had, like, these men already knew what their roles were in this whole man's movement thing, and Brandon was like left out of it. So then after the meeting is over, Russell, it was Russell, Brandon, Bravo, and Anthony that sit down. So Anthony is on Russell's side, um, and Russell's telling Brandon that he had a smart mouth with his wife. And I looked at it. Unless there was things that they cut off in that whole scene, Brandon's mouth wasn't smart with his wife. He called her a Kobe cat, aka copycat, which Brandon is entitled to feel the way he was, because when they showed some of the scenes of it, it looked like she was copying off of her. And then Christina's live, and y'all could go on Instagram and watch Christina's live. It was 2.5 hours. I'm not even going to put part of it up here because it's not even a review of her in the episode. It's her take on whatnot, and I just, her child is screaming in the background. I'm just not. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. But Christina lets us know that she brought on Anthony and Latoya and Kobe and Russell. They were supposed to be her. The show was basically centered around Brandon and Christina. She brought them on as her friends. Kobe was not an influencer when she was first bringing her on the show. She worked in corporate. Then she decided she wanted to be an influencer. So she's basically is new to this, where this is Christina has been her life and her job for so many years. So Kobe was in corporate, then called her up and said, "Oh, I'm thinking about being an influencer." And Christina told her to go ahead with it. So, all this, like what Christina is saying, Christina doesn't know how the business works. And also in the previous episode, Christina has said that she thought that they would get together on vlogs and day in the life of, and maybe them getting together on mothers having children, like showing things like that, not them coming together on what was her existing brand deal. So Kobe needs to stop. But anyway, let me go back to this with the men. So to me, Anthony instigated the whole situation. Brandon didn't help by walking in there with the shirt on with Christina's face all over it. And Russell was saying, "Oh, if he wasn't saved, he would have broke every bone in Brandon's body." For what? For what? Had the crotch got you like that, Russell? Like the way that Russell sounded, that whole thing sounded stupid. Like, unless there's something that we're not seeing in the edit, like the whole thing was just too much, because your wife was crying, because your wife was upset. From what we saw, Brandon didn't talk to her bad like that. It wasn't all like that. So I don't get where all this was coming from. Him saying he can't now trust Russell. I mean, Russell saying he can't trust Brandon. We can't trust to bring you and your big mouth, loud mouth wife to an event, because your wife starts talking about stuff that you pillow talk with her about. You don't know how to have it so your wife shuts her mouth. Like, you know what? Let me move on, because I don't even want to go there. So Russell told him to keep his wife's name out of him, and for him and Christina, Brandon and Christina, keep their wife out of their mouth. Brandon, to me, he took the sucker move and maybe it wasn't, he took the high road. He just apologized and blah, blah, blah. He didn't make any waves, and they went from there. So Brandon and Christina, they go out by a lake for a date. He tells Christina what was going on. They also talk about how they say in their confessionals how he didn't have a good relationship with his father or with his mother. His father's had passed away 2 years ago. He tells Christina about the meeting, how they were uninvited to a birthday party they were never really invited to. Brandon is wondering if they should stay friends with the Harrises. And then the guys meet up at the Star Factory and Anthony, of course, with his two-faced self. He tells Brandon that he and Bravo had already met to get things all together. They had met with the guy who was the DJ and everything. And Brandon is like kind of confused that they've met and got things together. And then Bravo was saying, "Well, I thought it was because you guys weren't talking. Like, when were they not talk? When were they not talking? That's what I'm not getting. Like the way the whole thing and Anthony says to Brandon that he can't trust him. Like, is there something that we're not getting that we're missing? Because where is this Anthony can't trust Brandon stuff coming from? Like, that's the part that I'm not getting. Like, where is all that coming from? So after then Anthony leaves because he says he has to go get the kids, and Brandon's talking to Bravo, and he's telling Bravo how he feels, and Bravo saying that he should have asked, had basically had Anthony elaborate on those questions because I'm not getting it at all. I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, like Eli, excuse me, like I'm not getting it whatsoever. So that scene's ended. So then we go over to Kobe's party. Russell gives her a surprise party, which is based on her vision board that she had. It's some boho something vision board um, that she has, and she has on a beautiful white dress with like feathers at the bottom, and it's an intimate party with her family there and close friends, and it's like her and Latoya are always talking about no drama, no drama, but Kobe, you bring drama. But anyway, she's saying that Christina has a spirit of manipulation when I think that Kobe has a spirit of manipulation, and so does Latoya. So Latoya says that Anthony, at that time during the party, Anthony was meeting with Latoya and Brandon, and while they're meeting, it goes back and forth with Anthony meeting with Latoya and with Brandon and Christina, and like with this, there's so much gaslighting and manipulation going on. Um, it's like they want Christina and Brandon to take accountability, but it's like it's absolutely ridiculous. And Christina, she's calling Anthony out on his stuff, and she tells him he likes to jump on the bandwagon when she does. She says she wants to talk to Latoya. Why is Latoya there? Anthony lies and says Latoya is at home taking care of the kids, which we know she's not. She's at the party. So, like I said, it's just gaslighting. It's just a lot of BS going on. Um, Kobe saying, like I said, her content is not like Christina's, but her content is like Christina's. Latoya is just full of it. And it's like Christina, she's, they're going through, why hasn't Christina called her? That's not the little sister like and all this stuff. Why would Christina call her when their husbands are going through all this stuff? It's all this fake and phoniness and whatnot going on. Like, why would she call her? Like, I would need a break from them. And I'll tell you from my own life, like I have had people that I've been cool with, and then they've crossed me or said stuff, and it's like I don't want to deal with you anymore. Like, you get to a point where you're tired of people and their BS, and you have to make the decision with what you want to do. You don't want anyone to abuse you, disrespect you, and all that stuff, and then you just get to a point where you just don't want to be bothered with them. And I think that may be where Christina is. And from her lives and everything, that just seems like where she is. Like this show, I had so much hope for this show. And I know it's drama and everything else, but in which we need in order for people to like shows and to get the views. But it's like, this is a bunch of crap. This is a bunch of, like I said, gaslighting. I don't know where like this stuff is coming from. Like, unless, like I said, stuff that they're not showing us, but like, and then they have the preview showing that Russell wants everybody to get together. Like, even he was saying it at the end of this episode, he wants everybody to get together for what? For what? So more lying and manipulation. more BS. So y'all, that's just it. We'll see what happens next week. Um, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. And I'll tell you, I'm not most fond of Brandon and Christina. I'll tell you, I watch it because there's something else to watch. And then I said, oh, the first show was good. And I start reviewing it. But they're getting on my nerves. They're getting on my nerves. But I guess that's what keeps me watching it. Oh, excuse me. Is this right here. So y'all, that's it with it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Click on the bell button for the uploads, y'all. Let me tell you, it's
Could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
I had to play that. That is like my favorite little thing to play these days. Y'all, I don't know. It's Anthony, that freaking snake. That freaking. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. That one right there. That right there. Well, y'all, let me get out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, click on the bell button for uploads, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, y'all.
Work, work, work. To me, I get work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. In the cafe, try me at the let be lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody touched me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma see for decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up.